The object that science cannot agree on. There is a 14-foot linen cloth in a climate-controlled vault in the Cathedral of St. John the Baptist in Turin, Italy. It has been there, in various forms of custody, since 1578. On its surface, faint and unmistakable, is the image of a man. The image shows a figure approximately 5 feet 11 inches tall, with long hair, a beard, and wounds consistent with crucifixion. There are marks at the wrists and feet consistent with nail punctures. There are marks across the back consistent with flagellation. There is a wound on the right side of the torso consistent with a lance entry. There is a pattern around the crown of the head consistent with a wreath of thorns pressed into the scalp. The image is not painted. No pigment has been identified on the fibers that produced it. The coloration exists only in the uppermost fibrils of the linen threads, penetrating to a depth of approximately 200 nanometers. No known medieval artistic technique produces that result. In 1988, 3 of the world's most respected radiocarbon dating laboratories, at Oxford University, the University of Arizona, and the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology in Zurich, tested samples from the shroud independently. All 3 arrived at the same conclusion. The linen dated to between 1260 and 1390 AD. Medieval, not ancient. The Vatican accepted the results and issued no formal challenge. Case closed, most people assumed. Then the pollen analysis arrived, and the case, it turned out, had not been closed at all. If this kind of investigation is what you have been searching for, the archive runs considerably deeper. There is much more here for those willing to follow it. The shroud's documented history in Europe begins in 1354, when a French knight named Geoffroy de Charny displayed it in the village of Liry in northern France. Where it was before that, and how de Charny obtained it, has never been established through any document that historians consider reliable. That gap is one of the central problems in shroud research, and it is not the only one. What the pollen found that carbon could not explain. Max Frei-Sulzer was a Swiss criminologist and botanist who served for many years as the head of the scientific department of the Zurich police. He was not a religious man with a stake in the shroud's authenticity. He was a forensic scientist with a specific technical expertise in palynology, the study of pollen grains, and he was invited to examine the shroud in 1973 as part of a broader scientific commission. What he found on the surface of the linen changed the scientific conversation about the shroud permanently. Frei-Sulzer identified pollen grains from 58 distinct plant species on the shroud's surface. Of those 58 species, a significant portion were not native to France or Italy, the regions where the shroud's documented European history begins. They were native to the Eastern Mediterranean, specifically to the region of Palestine, Turkey, and the area around Constantinople. Several of the identified species grow exclusively in the Jordan Valley and the Dead Sea region. They do not grow in medieval France. They do not grow in medieval Italy. For their pollen to appear on a linen cloth, that cloth would need to have been physically present in those regions at some point in its history. Frei-Sulzer's findings were published and subjected to peer review. They have not been successfully refuted. Subsequent pollen analysis conducted by Israeli botanist Avinoam Danon of the Hebrew University of Jerusalem identified additional species consistent with Frei-Sulzer's findings, including plants specific to the Jerusalem area that flower in spring, consistent with the timing of Passover. But this is not the strangest part of the scientific record. What do you think it means when 2 separate, accredited lines of scientific analysis produce results that directly contradict each other? Leave that in the comments. This community was built for exactly that conversation. Danon's analysis, published in peer-reviewed botanical journals, identified pollen from Gandelia tourneforti, a thorny plant native to the Middle East that flowers in the spring. Its pollen was present on the shroud in concentrations that Danon described as inconsistent with accidental contamination. The same plant has been proposed by some researchers as a candidate for the crown of thorns. What the image actually is and why nobody can explain it. The image on the shroud is a photographic negative, That fact was not discovered until 1898, when Italian photographer Secondo Pia was given permission to photograph the shroud for the first time. When he developed his glass plate negatives in his darkroom, he discovered that the negative of his photograph showed a clearer, more detailed, and more naturalistic image than the positive. The shroud itself, in other words, behaves as a negative image. Its lights and darks are reversed relative to normal vision. A positive photograph of the shroud produces a negative image. The negative of that photograph reveals something that looks like a photographic positive. Pia reportedly nearly dropped the plate in shock. A medieval forger working in the 13th or 14th century would have needed to understand photographic negative imaging 4 to 6 centuries before photography was invented, and would have needed to create an image whose full visual information was only accessible through a technology that did not yet exist. No convincing explanation for how a medieval forger could have produced this effect has been established in the scientific literature. The image has been examined by researchers from the United States Air Force Academy, NASA, and the Los Alamos National Laboratory. In 1978, a team of American scientists called STURP, the Shroud of Turin Research Project, spent 5 days conducting direct examination of the cloth using ultraviolet fluorescence, X-ray fluorescence, infrared spectroscopy, and other techniques. Their conclusion, published in peer-reviewed journals in 1981, was that the image was not produced by pigment, dye, or any applied substance, and that its formation mechanism remained unexplained. If this investigation is surfacing things that your standard education never reached, it means the work is doing what it was built to do. That clarity is what keeps this archive alive. The problem with the 1988 carbon test. The 1988 radiocarbon dating result was not rejected by mainstream science, but it has been seriously challenged by mainstream scientists, and those challenges are documented in peer-reviewed publications. The most significant challenge came from chemist Raymond Rogers of the Los Alamos National Laboratory, one of the original STURP researchers. Rogers was initially skeptical of challenges to the 1988 result. He set out to disprove them. His findings, published in the journal Thermochimica Acta in 2005, did not disprove them. Rogers examined threads from the area of the shroud used for the 1988 carbon testing and compared them to threads from the main body of the cloth. He found that the tested area contained cotton fibers. The main body of the shroud does not contain cotton fibers. The tested area also showed evidence of a reweaving technique using different thread composition than the original linen. Rogers's conclusion was that the sample used for the 1988 carbon dating came from a medieval repair patch sewn onto the shroud, not from the original linen of the cloth itself. If the sample was from a repair patch added in the medieval period, the medieval carbon date is exactly what you would expect. It is dating the repair, not the original cloth. Rogers died in 2005, shortly after his paper was published. His findings have been cited in subsequent peer-reviewed research and have not been successfully refuted in the scientific literature. The 3 laboratories that conducted the 1988 testing used samples from the same corner of the shroud, a corner that subsequent analysis has identified as the most heavily handled and most likely to have been repaired at some point in its history. That methodological question has never been fully resolved. What the evidence leaves open, the Shroud of Turin is not proven to be the burial cloth of Jesus of Nazareth. That statement is important and needs to be made directly. No analysis, however sophisticated, can establish that claim with scientific certainty. The shroud is a linen cloth with an unexplained image. What that image is, how it was formed, and whose body it may or may not have wrapped, remain open questions in the scientific literature. What the evidence does establish is more modest and more interesting than the headline version of this story. The 1988 carbon dating produced a medieval result from a sample that a peer-reviewed study published in a respected chemistry journal has identified as potentially problematic. That does not invalidate the result. It means the result requires qualification. The pollen analysis, conducted independently by a Swiss forensic scientist and an Israeli botanist, identified plant species native to the eastern Mediterranean, and specifically to the Jerusalem region on the surface of a cloth whose documented European history begins in 14th century France. That does not prove ancient origin. It establishes that the cloth was physically present in the eastern Mediterranean at some point, which is not what a medieval European forgery would predict. The image formation mechanism has not been explained by any known natural or artificial process. That does not make it miraculous. It makes it scientifically unresolved. The Shroud of Turin is an object that science has examined carefully and honestly and has not been able to fully explain in either direction. That is not a comfortable place for certainty to live, but it is where the evidence actually sits. If this investigation has opened something you want to carry further, share it below. If this kind of work deserves to continue, you know what to do. And the question worth debating in the comments: does the scientific uncertainty around the shroud strengthen or weaken your sense of what faith is actually built on?